Good morning. Myself Fatuni Sambegu, Contract Lecturer of Commerce from Government City College, Journals. Today's topic is agriculture income. Agriculture income. There are certain incomes which are exempt from income tax as per Section 10. The income which receives from agriculture source is called agriculture income. So according to Section 10, Subsection 1 of the Income Tax Act 1961 deals with exemption of agriculture income from tax. However, the agriculture income is included in the total income to determine the tax on the non-agricultural income. Now, the reason of exemption of agricultural income from tax, that is under the Income Tax Act, is that agricultural income is the state government subject. According to Section 2, subsection IA deals with agricultural income, and it is fully exempted from tax as per Income Tax Act 1961 according to Section 10, subsection 1. What is agricultural income? So according to Section 2, subsection IA, any rent or revenue derived from land or any income derived from such land by agriculture or from processing of agriculture produce, or any income from farm building, that is like a farmhouse, or any income from sampling or seedling grounds in nursery shall be deemed to be a agricultural income. If the owner or a tenant of an agricultural land situated in India receives sale money or crop either in cash or in kind, or if the owner or a tenant of an agricultural land performs certain process to make the agricultural product fit for the sale in the primary market and receives sales money in the primary market, or otherwise if income derived by owner or a tenant of an agricultural land from a building situated in the farmhouse, that is if the house or a building situated in rural areas. So if income derived from agricultural land situated in rural or urban areas is treated as agricultural income. Income received from the house or building situated in the farmhouse, usually we are having some kind of farmhouses which or we are having some kind of buildings which are almost near to the land which we are using for agriculture purpose. So whatever the money or whatever the products we are producing with the help of that land, and the same building if you are using for keeping that kind of product, for keeping that kind of goods in that house or otherwise in that building, so that building or whatever the land we are using, whatever the money we are receiving from that income also will be called as an agriculture income. And if a farmhouse is in urban area, then the income from house or a building shall be treated as income from house property, not as income from agriculture, because if it is in an urban area, whenever we are calculating, we are supposed to take into consideration that the land must be in a rural area, and the building or the land whatever you are using for keeping that kind of products, it must be near to that land only. It's too far where you are having an urban area or you are having a more population, then it doesn't includes under agriculture income. It will be called as an income from house property or otherwise income from other sources or some other source, but not as agriculture income. So the main thing is you are supposed to take into consideration where you are keeping the products, or whether how much population we are having over there, whether that area, whether that land comes under the jurisdiction of an urban area or otherwise as a rural area, that you are supposed to take into consideration with the help of that. And if you are satisfying these three conditions, then only it will be called as an agriculture income. So the first condition is the rent or revenue derived from land. Whatever the rent or revenue we are receiving, it must be from a land only. For example, if the owner of a land gives agricultural land on a lease basis, that is granting the right of using the land for agriculture purpose, then the rent received by the landlord from the tenant either in cash or in kind or share in the output of the produce will be treated as agricultural income. But if the tenant has given the land on a sublease, and if he is receiving the rent, will also be considered as an agricultural income. That the term revenue means the sale proceeds of agriculture produce or income directly led to the land. That is, for example, if the output of a crop is 10 bags, which is sold in the market at the rate of 2500 per bag, and the sale proceed is 25,000, is known as the revenue. But in some cases, we are not receiving the same. So we are having some example like dividend received by a shareholder out of the agriculture income of a company engaged in agriculture. So whatever the money we are receiving from a land, the like whether it's a revenue income or a rent, whatever the things we are receiving from the land, that will be called as an agriculture income. The second condition is like the land must be situated in India only. Like to consider an income as an agriculture income, it is necessary that the land is used for agriculture purpose. Main thing is like whatever the land you are having in rural area, that land you are supposed to use for agriculture purpose only. Like usually whenever we are having any kind of land, usually we are using for some other purposes instead of using the same thing for an agriculture purpose. Like for example, for keeping our goods as a good or otherwise as a as a warehouse, or otherwise usually we are using for a parking area and all, or otherwise we are using for doing some kind of functions, so that doesn't comes under this. The thing is like whenever you are using any kind of land for agriculture purpose, then only you are supposed to take into consideration that as an agriculture income, otherwise you are not supposed to get this. So that whatever the land you are having, it must be used for agriculture purpose. The next thing is like it must be situated in India only. The test is to be applied for determining whether an income is an agriculture income or not is to perform on the basis of certain operations. Like we are having some operation like basic operation and subsequent operation. Under basic operation, if an agricultural operation involvement of human skills and labor on a land prior to germination of plant, then these operations are known as basic operations. Some of the examples are cultivation, seeding, plantation, watering, etc. will comes under this basic operation. Whereas the second operation is subsequent operation. Subsequent operation performed after the produce sprout, then these operations are known as subsequent operation. Like building, cutting, harvesting, etc. are the examples of subsequent operation. If an SSC has performed basic operations and subsequent operation or only basic operation, then the income received is treated as agriculture income. And if an SSC performs only subsequent operation, then the income received by him is not considered as agriculture income. Like for example, income derived from the forest trees, like profit made by the trader or purchasing the standing crops. So the thing is like whenever we are applying the second condition, that is the land situated in India, the thing is like we are supposed to take into consideration about the conditions also, or about the operations also, that is the basic operation as well as the subsequent operation. Under basic operation, like whatever the things we are doing, and simultaneously if we are doing subsequent operation, so whatever the income you are receiving, that income will be called as an agriculture income. But if you are performing only subsequent operation, so whatever the money you are receiving from that, it won't be called as a agriculture income. And the third condition is land used for agriculture purpose only. Yes, very important. You are supposed to use the land only for agriculture purpose, not for some other purposes. You are supposed to use this for only for agriculture purpose only. Right, rent or revenue derived from land. Rent should be the like whenever we are paying any kind of rent, it must be in a cash or otherwise in kind or money's worth by one person to another person in respect of a grant of a right to use the land. Like whenever we are receiving any kind of rent for the sake of our land, like usually whenever we are giving, if we are not using, we are giving the same land to some other persons for doing some agriculture project. So whatever the money we are receiving as like a cash or a kind or money, whatever it will be, that we are supposed to use for, and it will be called as an agriculture income only. Another one is the revenue. Any revenue means rent income which falls under section 2 subsection IAB, and if the immediate and effective sources is not land, then the income cannot be considered as to be an agriculture income. What will be called as an agriculture income? We are having some examples. First one is the income from a sale of a replanted trees. Rent received from agricultural land, it will be called as an agriculture income. Income from growing flowers and cripples. Share of profit of a partner from a firm engaged in agriculture operations. Interest on capital received by a partner from a firm engaged in agriculture operations, or income derived from sale of seeds. Like usually whenever we are using the land for agriculture purpose, it's not like we can give it to some other persons also, or otherwise as a partner if we are having anything, or otherwise if you are receiving some kind of interest. So that all will be called as an agriculture income only. Next is what is non-agriculture income. Like we are doing the same thing on the same land, but it's not an agriculture. Like cultivating, harvesting, we are not doing. We are using the land, but for some other purpose. Like for example, the same land if you are using for a poultry farming, or otherwise if you are using some beehive, income from sale of spontaneously grown trees, or income from dairy farming. Like usually we are like whatever the land we are having, we are using the same thing for a dairy. dairy farming, or purchase of standing crops, dividend paid by the company out of its agriculture income, or income of salt produced by flooding the land with sea water. Like usually if you are having a big land and the same land we are using by flooding the water, and from that water if you are getting some kind of salt, and the same salt if you are using if you are selling in the market, whatever the money we are receiving, it won't be called as an agriculture income. Or if you are receiving any kind of royalties, like from mines if you are receiving some kind of royalty, it won't be called as an agriculture income. Income from butter or cheese making, like if you are having some kind of manufacturing business over there and the same land you are using for that kind of things too, that doesn't include under that. And a receipt from TV serial shooting in a farmhouse is not agriculture income. Like usually whenever we are in a rural area, if you are having some kind of warehouse or otherwise as a farmhouse, the same you are using for giving to some other person for doing some kind of shooting for the serials or for the films or for the short film and all. So whatever the money they are paying to the owner of the house, that won't call as an agriculture income, it will be called as a non-agriculture income only. Integration of agriculture income, like clubbing of agriculture income with non-agriculture income for computation of tax liability is known as an integration of agriculture income. Like whenever we are adding this to income, like agriculture income means like whatever we are receiving from land or whatever we are doing like from our land, if we are doing some agriculture product, whatever the things we are getting from a land, whatever the money we are receiving, that income will be called as an agriculture income. So the main thing, like in India, it is always exempted from tax if you are receiving from an agriculture land. But simultaneously with that agriculture income, if you are receiving non-agriculture income also, non-agriculture income in the sense like if you are receiving from your direct sources, like from salary, house, property, business and profession, or otherwise from gains and other sources, if you are receiving from that sources also, the what the thing is like you are supposed to add both the income, then you have to integrate your of agriculture income, means you need to club both your agriculture and non-agriculture income. If an income comprises of both agriculture and non-agriculture income, in such a case it becomes necessary on the part of an assessee to segregate the income into two components, that is an agriculture income and a non-agriculture income. Like whenever we are receiving from this, we need to segregate, like how much we are receiving from an agriculture and how much we are receiving from a non-agriculture. Like usually in some cases, like if you are receiving from a manufacturing of tea, coffee, rubber, so whatever, like it's a tea, rubber, coffee, all are an agriculture products, but as uh, as a producer of this kind of product, you are getting a lot of money from this. So what the government is saying, like whenever you are receiving from a sugar or otherwise from a tea or coffee or from a rubber, so we are having some kind of percentages. According to that percentages, you are supposed to take this into consideration. Like for example, if you are growing and manufacturing tea in India, so only 60 percentage will be called as an agriculture income, whereas 40 percentage you have to take into consideration as a non-agriculture income or a business income. And if you are growing and curing of coffee in India, then 75 percentage will be called as an agriculture income, whereas 25 percentage will be called as a non-agriculture income or otherwise the business income. And the same thing, income from growing, roasting coffee in India, 60 percentage will be the agriculture and 40 will be the non-agriculture. And the same income from growing and manufacturing of rubber, if you are growing and manufacturing rubber in India, then 65 percentage will be the agriculture income and 35 percentage will be a non-agriculture income. So the thing is like whenever we are integrating of agriculture income, what the thing is like you have to add both agriculture and non-agriculture income. But if you are receiving the income from this kind of things, like from a tea, coffee, rubber plant, then what the thing is like you are not supposed to take all income or all the money as an agriculture income. You need to segregate this according to the percentages which has been fixed by the Central Board of Direct Tax. Like when to integrate, like usually whenever we are getting agriculture income as well as non-agriculture income, the thing is like we need to pay tax on our non-agriculture income, but we need to integrate our agriculture income also. But we are having some conditions, like if you are receiving less money from agriculture, it doesn't mean that you are supposed to add this agriculture with non-agriculture income. We are having some conditions, then only you have to integrate this. What kind of conditions we are having this? If your agriculture income exceeds rupees 5,000 in the relevant previous year. Relevant previous year, why we are using? Because whatever we are earning in the previous year, that income, on that income we are supposed to pay tax in a current assessment year. And if a non-agriculture income exceeds the basic limit, like we are having some kind of basic condition or basic exemptions for senior, non-senior and a super senior citizen, so according to their condition or according to their exemption, we are supposed to take this in the previous year. So according to section 10 subsection 1, agriculture income is an exempted from tax, but it is included in the total income of an individual to determine his tax liability on a non-agriculture income. The process of adding the agriculture income in the total income is known as an integrating the income or clubbing the income. The term non-agriculture income means taxable incomes which are computed under different heads of income, but the following taxable incomes are not added. That is, if you are receiving any kind of sources from a long-term capital gain, you are not supposed to add this with your agriculture income. And if you are receiving some kind of short-term capital gain on equity shares, like if you are receiving short-term capital gain on normal capital assets, so you have to take, so you can add this with your agriculture income. But the same thing, if you are receiving a short-term capital gain on sale of equity shares, so you are not supposed to take this into consideration. And on a casual income, because for casual income we are having separate percentage, like 30.9% we are having, so that you can't take into consideration. And which what we are supposed to add is, like we can add salary, we can add house property, we can add business and profession, and we can add income from other sources, that is income from other sources, and we can add capital gain except the long-term capital gain and short-term capital gain on sale of shares. So these are some of the things which you can easily add. The integration of agricultural income is the total income is made only when the SEC is satisfying the following conditions. Like first condition, again the same thing, if the net income from an agriculture income is more than 5,000, it exceed 5,000, like if you are receiving less than 5,000 rupees, then at a time you can't integrate these two things, so you are supposed to receive more than 5,000 from your agriculture income. Next is for this current assessment year, that is from 19 to 20, if the non-agriculture income taxable income is more than 250, like 2,50,000 for a non-senior citizen, and a 3 lakh for a senior citizen, and a 5 lakh for a super senior citizen. For a super senior citizen, then only you need to take this into consideration as an integration, otherwise you're not supposed to take this into integration. Next is how to integrate. We are having some of these steps with the help of which you can easily integrate, and you can calculate how much tax you're supposed to pay on your non-agriculture income. Like as from starting point of view, as I'm saying that agriculture income is always exempted from tax, and if you're receiving it from India. The same thing if you're receiving from outside India, if you're having some of your land outside of India and you're receiving some of the money, that money won't be called as an agriculture income, and that money is not exempted from tax. You have to pay tax on that also. So Indian government has given some kind of exemption on agriculture income, but for calculating the tax on non-agriculture income, we have to integrate these two. So we need to follow some of these steps. With the help of that steps, you can have an idea how much tax you are supposed to pay. So the first step is, like you have to add both the income, that is your agriculture income and non-agriculture income, and then you have to calculate tax on total income. Like when you are adding your agriculture and non-agriculture income, we have to apply the conditions. Like first condition is, like your agriculture income must be more than 5,000 rupees and your non-agriculture income must be more than the exempted limit. So according to that, when we are adding both the things, you are getting one figure. On that figure you need to draw the slab. That slab will be called as calculation of agriculture on your total income. Next is the second step, that is your third step, that is you need to add your agriculture income with your basic exempted limit. As already we have discussed that you are supposed to have your agriculture income more than 5,000 rupees. With your basic exempted limit you have to add. So basic exempted limit, we can have an idea with the help of age of a person. Like if a person is a normal person, then you are supposed to take into consideration as 2,50,000 rupees. If a person is a senior citizen, then 3 lakh, and if a person is a super senior citizen, you have to take 5 lakh rupees. So this you have to add with your agriculture income. So you will get one figure. On that figure again you need to draw this slab. So you will get one answer. That answer will be called as tax on exempted income. Again you have to satisfy the condition. That what conditions we are having is, your agriculture income must be more than 5,000 rupees and your basic exemption you have to add. So agriculture income and basic exemption, whatever you are having, you need to add these two, and you need to draw the slab on this. Whatever the answer you are receiving, that answer will be called as tax on your total exempted income. Next you have to calculate the fourth step, that is deduct step 2 minus step 3, step 1 minus step 2, that is tax on total income minus tax on exempted income. You have to deduct step 1 minus step 2. Whatever you have calculated from step 1, the same thing you need to minus from your step 2. You will get one answer. That answer will be called as income tax. Then after that, if a person is having any kind of rebate, like if he is having any kind of rebate, then you have to deduct that rebate from that, and after that you have to add the education cess. Like education cess, we are having 4%. We have to add 4% as in the education cess. And after that, if a person has already paid some kind of tax as TDS, otherwise advance tax if had paid, so according to that we will get the answer. Like whenever we are applying this, the thing is like we are supposed to take the conditions into consideration. Like agriculture income must be more than 5,000 rupees and your non-agriculture income must be more than your exempted limit. And main thing, like whenever you are calculating, you are supposed to take into consideration that from where you are receiving, whether you are receiving from a rural area or from an urban area. According to that only you can have an idea whether it's an agriculture income or a non-agriculture income. And whatever the land you are having, it must be situated in India only, and that area where you are having a land, it must be in a rural area and with a less population. So these are some of the conditions, or these are some of the methods which you are supposed to apply when you are integrating this. So with the help of these steps, you can have an idea how much tax you are supposed to pay on your non-agriculture income with the help of integration method.